Hi, everyone, and welcome to Vivid Travels. And if you are a subscriber, welcome back. Ugh, the dreaded baggage claim. That moment you realize, oh my gosh, I overpacked. I packed way too much stuff, and now I'm gonna have to shell out 50, 70, maybe even more just to check my bags while going to another country. And what if it gets lost? What if my flight gets delayed or I miss my flight? And then now all of a sudden, I don't have everything that I need. Sound familiar? Been there, done that. I hate checking baggage. So typically, I try to fly with just a personal item and a carry-on. Of course, where I can. So, what if I told you you too could travel without the headaches of having to wait around at the end of a long flight just for your bags that never actually come? No checked baggage, no waiting, no lost luggage, none of that nightmare. Yep, it's totally possible. Trust me, because today I'm going to spill my secrets and show you how I pack without having to check luggage. And hopefully to help you make your next trip as stress-free as possible. So if you're ready to ditch the baggage drama and travel like a true pro, stick around. You're going to want to watch what's coming next. Okay, so why do I even bother with a personal item and just a carry-on? Let me break it down for you because the perks are legit. You can save cash. I mean, checking bags, the airlines started charging money well over a decade, and they still do it to this day. So if you don't have any baggage to check, you're actually saving cash. No lost luggage. The worst feeling is knowing that all of everything that you actually needed is in a luggage that you cannot access and you don't have, and it's not going to be there for 2 days when you're only on a 2-day trip. Airport ninja status, of course. Your stuff stays with you and no more panic at the baggage claim carousel. Freedom, of course. You're way more mobile if you don't have to worry about getting some baggage from the baggage claim. So, for example, if you want to hop on a train last minute, or if you see a ton of stairs that you have to climb, you don't have to carry around that big old luggage and, of course, get a workout while you're trying to lug that thing up these huge flights of stairs. And last but not least, less stress. Less stuff equals less worry, equals less stress. It's all a total win-win. Trust me. All right, so how do we actually do this? It's all about a mindset shift and a few core principles. 1, do I really need this? Before anything goes in your bag, ask yourself, do I really need this? Or do I just want this? Be brutal. If it's not a definite yes, then it needs to stay home. Number 2, versatility is king, or in my case, queen. Every item should ideally service multiple purposes. Number 3, layer up. Instead of one big bulky item, make sure you pack a few lighter items. A long sleeve t-shirt, maybe a fleece, and a light rain jacket will keep you warmer than a giant coat. And let's be honest, of course, they pack down smaller. Number 4, travel size and solid is gold. Your toiletries are prime real estate. Make sure you get those tiny bottles that comes in sets so it can help keep you organized. Number 5, wear your heaviest stuff. When it comes to the day of travel, if you have a jacket, instead of stuffing it in your bag or your personal item, make sure you wear it. Or if it's hot, like in my case in Texas, I just tied it around my waist. Wear your bulkiest shoes to the airport while you travel. And although it may not be as comfortable, It will save you space in the long run. And number 6, go digital where you can. I like physical books, but I know a number of people like to read digital articles or digital books. And of course, when you're in that situation and you like digital items, it's going to save on space. So let's be real. These 6 items are going to be your guidelines for traveling light. I can travel for about 5 to 7 days with just a carry-on and my personal item. And part of what helps me do that is what I actually chose to be my personal item. So I typically use this as my personal item. I got this from Amazon, and this actually doubles as a suitcase. So if you look on the inside, you can see it lays flat, and this is where I would actually lay my clothes. I really, really love this backpack because it has an area for my wet items. So if I accidentally busted something open, it wouldn't get all over my clothes. Additionally, it has a compartment for my laptop, and it is padded. And on the very front, if I can get here, it has additional pockets where I put random stuff that I may or may not need or use, things like wet ones. I also love it because I wanted to make sure I had a backpack that has 2 bottle holders. I know a lot of backpacks, travel backpacks like this, only have 1 bottle holder. But for me, I like to, if I need to stuff something quick, like, oh, I almost forgot this, I want a place where I can put it and not have to move my water bottle out the way. So with that being said, how do I actually pack this backpack? I pack a number of different things in my personal item. One of the first things that I do actually pack is a personal hygiene kit. Now, I pack this and I put it in my personal item, and I have a personal hygiene kit for my carry-on as well. This is my personal hygiene kit for my carry-on, and they do have similar things. This one tends to have a little bit more stuff, but in my personal item, in this particular hygiene kit, I make sure I have a toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, a small brush, hair ties, and I think that's it. So this is what I actually carry with me with my personal item on my back at all times. Now, the reason why I carry 2 is because I keep this with me, and this one goes in my carry-on. And I've had situations where I've actually had to check my carry-ons before, and the last thing I want is to be stuck without my personal hygiene items and a checked bag that they forced me to check because maybe because they're too overloaded, there's too many people on the plane, it's overcrowded, and they just run out of space. Sometimes an airline will make you check it, and I don't want to be stuck without my personal items. So I actually always carry one in my carry-on and one in my personal item. Also, I like to bring a universal charger. And this definitely came in handy when I was in Greece because I said charger, I meant adapter. We here in the US use completely different plugs than they use in Greece. So this definitely came in handy. And I put this in my personal item because I don't want to have to go digging for it in my backpack. If, say, for example, I have a layover like we did in another continent, and I can't plug my devices up because I don't have the correct plug-in. Also, what else do I bring in my personal item? Obviously, any chargers that I'm going to need. Again, I like carrying books, so I like reading physical books, so I actually carry a book with me. I use this travel fanny pack, and I stick this with me, and this is what I tend to use as like a purse when once I get to my destination. I gotta also carry gum, and I always carry different snacks with me so that I don't have to pay. I mean, I'm already gonna eat at the airport, but I don't want to pay like exorbitant prices for just, different snacks. Of course, my earbuds, I gotta have those with me, and my passport. In this particular personal bag, there is an area right here that faces your back, and it is really right up against your skin. So where you can put personal items that you don't, it's considered anti-theft. So this is where I would keep my passport. So it's right up against my back and no one has access to it. Oh, by the way, if you're looking for this particular backpack, I will put the link in the description below. So now in my carry-on, in addition to my hygiene kit, I also bring my shower kit, which I feel is different than my hygiene kit. I keep this separate. It includes like my shower gel, shampoo and conditioner that I use, and lotion. And additionally, I carry this, which has some other random stuff, but the most important of all the random stuff is my oils that I use for my hair. Anybody who has super curly hair knows that it's important to make sure that our hair stays moisturized. And for me, part of that is making sure that I have something to lock in the moisture when something to lock in the moisture when I've washed my hair. Okay, so this is the carry-on that I use, and if I open it up, as you can see, here's another adapter that I keep in my carry-on. This is how I pack my shoes. I put my underclothes in this particular area. In the front pockets, I keep additional like reading materials. And in this particular pocket, I keep extra for whatever reason. I don't know. I just like planning extra stuff, but I will keep extra soap and lotion available on hand. So I'm actually going to turn this around. Now, when you're packing, obviously you want to try to pack as much as you can get away with, but it still actually be feasible. And so when I pack, I tend to put my shoes at the very bottom, especially if they're sandals. And if I can have them in a plastic bag or a shoe bag to help keep them from dirtying up my clothes. That's what I tend to try to do. Now, how do I typically pack my clothes? Well, I'm one of those people who like to use the fold method. Now, I've tried different cubes. I I find that sometimes they're more of a hassle. I found a cube set on Amazon that I like, which I'm gonna try again, but we'll see. But as you can see, for example, this shirt, I have folded it in half and then folded it in half again. And then I just take it and roll it up and try to find a crevice that it will fit nicely into. Even with my bigger, bulkier items, with something like this, like a sweater, I will do the same thing. And try to find a nice place where it can go. Now, there are some situations where I prefer things to lie flat. For whatever reason, my jeans, I don't like to roll up. I guess maybe because they're too bulky in that particular sense. So like jeans like this, I'll just lay flat on top of most of my rolled items. So I'm just gonna put some of this stuff in here. I do roll up my underclothes and my swimsuits, and they tend to go here. Some items that are pants, I will roll like this. These are slacks, and because the material is not that thick, it is actually easier and more space saving to roll. Now, when I'm done with everything, when I'm done packing all of my clothes, that is where I will come in with my hygiene items, and I actually like to pack those right on top. I do that for easy access because I know it's one of the first things that I'm actually going to use. I tend to do that also because I know they're in sealed containers and in sealed packages, so I'm not really worried about them breaking open and getting on my clothes. Now, when it comes to traveling, I typically always like to travel with some of the lightest items. So I tend to try to pack dresses. I try to stay away from heavyweight items like jeans, also because they do take up a lot of space. But I always make sure that I pack dresses, obviously underclothes, for how many ever days. I always try to pack 2 to 3 extra pair. So if I'm going on a 5-day trip, I'll try to pack 7 to 8 sets of underclothes so that I can ensure that I always have clean underclothes. Also, I do try to work out while I am on vacation, and so I try to pack my leggings. I do actually roll these up as well. And last but not least, I do try to pack, if I can remember, empty plastic bag. And the purpose of the empty plastic bag is if something is wet, or if I have like clothes that got super dirty, or say I got stuck in the rain or caught in the mud, and I don't have access to, a place where I can get a plastic bag, at least I will have one already packed in my bag. So as you can see, it's amazing how you can fit even more if you roll things up, or, if you find cube sets that work for you, then of course, make sure you do that. Just a couple of more bonus tips before you go. If you can, do laundry on the go. That's obviously going to save you, and you can reuse the clothes that you washed. If it's something small and simple, you can have the I can buy it there mindset. For example, when I was packing for Mykonos. I knew we were going to be going to a beach, but I didn't really want to bring sunscreen with me. So I knew sunscreen was one of the things that we were going to use. As you can see, I'm fair skinned. Yes, I do get sunburn. So I opted to get sunscreen when I was actually in Greece. And of course, this is one of the most important things. Embrace the minimalist vibe. It's actually liberating. You'll spend less time fussing with stuff and more time experiencing your trip. So, are you ready to ditch those heavy bags and start traveling smarter? I promise you, once you go personal item plus a carry-on, you'll never want to go back. If these tips helped you, hopefully you can help me by giving this video a thumbs up and click that like and subscribe button. Also, make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any videos coming out from me in the near future. But before you go, I want to know what your number one packing hack is. Please let me know down in the comments below. If you want to see more travel tips and adventures, make sure you watch this video next right here. Thanks for watching, and until next time, safe travels.